Okay, let's go ahead and wrap this up. Chapter 12, Managing Systems Support and Security. So we've got our system in place, and now our goal is to uh, manage it. We've got to support it. We've got to secure it. Let's see if we can find some areas in here that would make a lot of sense. The objectives I'll let you read. And again, those are posted also in your text. So as soon as this thing needs to begin as soon as it becomes operational. Now, not conditionally operational, but fully operational. Your system obviously will have a lifespan, and so this will continue until that. User training has been done. It needs to be important for you to coordinate this, especially for the security aspect. You know, people tend to be given instructions, but they don't have any documentation to look at, and systems are sometimes weak only because of the users, not because of the plan that was put in place. I'll give you an example. Writing your password down on a sticky note and sticking it to your monitor. That will kill a system because somebody can walk by and just use somebody else's username / password, and then that is it right there. So people need to be taught on what they're supposed to do. Make sure you have good help support. People like to be right. They like to use everything that they can, so make sure that you are doing this so that people can be successful. Outsourcing. Support can be outsourced. I've told you about other agencies right now. I can think of Cisco outsources a lot. Cisco trained people or qualified people, small companies would be outsourced offshore in order to take care of this. This reduces the phone wait times. It helps the performance of the staff out and gives better support. Maintenance expenses and operational cost. Obviously you want to, this is high starting off, it should get low, but then towards the end of the lifespan it will go back up. When it starts getting back up so high, then this is time to be changed. Take a look at the different maintenance tasks, the different areas, I should say, and get an idea. Look at the later operational life, corrective maintenance. It becomes high. So again, products have lifespans. Corrective maintenance, there's 4 maintenance tasks. And the different priority levels for these maintenance tasks. Take a look at patch as necessary implementation. This is a software program. This means a software patch in order to bring this up. You know that because when you turn your computers on, sometimes your computer is busy doing Microsoft updates. If you have Microsoft, it's doing updates, and that's a patch. Another maintenance is adaptive maintenance. This makes, it's similar to routine corrective maintenance, but it allows systems to work together, and for things that aren't working for one may not, or that are working for one may not be working for another. So that person wants to get a patch put in so they can use that. A perfective maintenance. Let you read those bullets. And sometimes there may be so much software re-engineering that the system may need to be taken offline. Blackboard does this every year. Blackboard is taken down once a year for a minor update, and then every other year for a major update. And it's taken down for a couple of days. So we can't use it at all because it's becoming re-engineered. Preventive maintenance is another one that is the last one. It's where you want to fix things before they break. Again, companies tend to cut back on this because it does take time and takes money. You don't see an immediate results. For instance, it would be a good analogy would be replacing your tires. They may be worn, they may still look good, but when you replace them, you may not notice any difference at all. However, that is good preventive maintenance. Oil changes are another one. Maintenance team that would conduct this, again, begins with the system administrator, and then goes through the analysts, the programmers, and then they would all be trying to work on some of the organizational issues. I'd like you to look at this code of ethics right here. This is really important that a systems administrator would keep a code of ethics. Notice up there the education. This person says they will continue to update and enhance their technical knowledge and work-related skills. This is so important right here. Ethics. I will really do the right thing, but they will build, maintain a safe, healthy, and productive workplace. Really important. Maintenance requests are just that. If you have something broke, you need to make a request. Sometimes they take a little bit of time to fix. Sometimes they take a long time. Depending on how it's escalated, depending on the severity of the operation will be how this will work. Maintenance releases, again, sometimes these come out and they don't work well. They need to be tested well. Western did an update many years ago to a Blackboard component. It's been a long time. It's been 10 or 12 years ago. After they came out with their upgrade, it was broke. So they had to roll this back. Now here we are. We were down for 2 days, expecting to come back the next day. That didn't take place. They ended up rolling the old system back in, and then we were up for another couple of months, and then I forget when they took it down again. They took it down the next time, and this time it worked. Everything okay. Service packs are usually a huge update. They sometimes can take multiple days to put in. If you do that to your computer, it can take multiple hours. Version control, again, we'll update this year to version 9 dot something on Blackboard. Blackboard will go down. Usually goes down in May or June. It'll go down for a couple of days. Baseline I've talked about already. Maintenance management. Fault management. This doesn't mean pointing the finger at anybody. It means finding out what's fixed. Baseline faults. Some companies stop. Some companies stop too early to find fault. They'll stop at one area. That doesn't fix it. Baseline needs to be fixed. Sometimes it's people. Sometimes people are just doing the wrong thing. You don't know it if you do. If you don't take this down far enough to the baseline. Take a look at response time. I know you'll have a quiz question on that. Look at your metrics, and that does not mean the metric system. Look at the metrics, the measurement that is used to determine the quality of a system. Turnaround time, how long it takes to submit your request and to get it back. If you notice, when you go into the, a good analogy is going to the doctor, and if you go in, you typically have a sign in with the time. There's a sign out too. Now you probably forget to do that, but the office manager would do that. Now he or she wants to see how long it's taking you to get in and get seen with a doctor. This is constantly being worked on. Why? Because people have a choice now. Way back when, you took what you were given. People have been known to wait for 4 or 5 hours on a doctor. I personally won't wait that long. I give them 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, I usually get up and leave and say, hey, I'll call back for another appointment. My time is valuable also. Now, that may seem pompous, but now that doctor works for me. I don't work for that doctor. So he or she needs to wait on me, not me wait on them. Now, you can also say, well, we're waiting on, they have other patients and you want to do this. Well, sometimes patients show up late and they get seen anyways, and that puts the whole system in a conundrum. That doctor won't be able to get away with that much longer, because there's too many doctors being produced out there that are looking at this area right here, submitting a request and then fulfillment of the request. Patients showing up on time, I expect to be seen. I've changed doctors before because of that, and told the nurse or the check-in person, I'm going to find somebody else. You can take me out of your system. I'm gone. So I want my records, and I'm gone. And so they sometimes will tell you that your records, and I know I'm rambling right now, but you need to understand this turnaround time. It's important. They'll tell you that your records are property of the hospital or of the doctor's office. Great. They're required by law to make a copy. By law to make a copy for you. So that is your information. Then you can take those someplace else. But you don't have to put up with bad service anymore. Those days are over. You need to put up with good service, not bad service. Capacity planning. Use what-if analysis. If you were taking an Excel class with me, we would do a lot of this. I want you to see the different combinations and permutations that can take place in order to change the system. Try to stump the system if you can, because if you can break it, that means that a customer doesn't have to break it. Performance management. There's an example right there of looking at performance management. Security is a huge deal. It's getting worse. It's getting worse every day. Confidentiality is almost not, privacy is almost non-existent today. Integrity is waning. It needs to be at the top. It's not at the top anymore. Availability sometimes is sketchy at best. So we're struggling right here with security, and it's mainly the way that people are being brought up today, the way that businesses are being run. Sometimes it's money only without concern for the people. I can say that because I've been around more than likely longer than most of you all, and I have seen it in a different light. I've seen it where integrity was paramount. I don't see that anymore. Now there are exceptions, but I don't see that as being an overall driving force anymore like it used to be. Nonetheless, risk management is finding out what's risky and what needs to be done to fix it. You want to fix this before it breaks. You want to try to be proactive on this and not reactive, and get this fixed before it's done. Overall security work check. I'll let you look at that. You can see, again, most of the security issues can be related back to human error. Now, it may not be that someone, broke the system. It may be that it was a poor design. If it's a poor design, it's human error. Computers don't need to be blamed. Circumstances don't need to be blamed. People need to be blamed. And that's when you get to the root cause analysis of getting this fixed. So, again, if I sound hardcore on that, it's because I am. I think employee training is just extremely important. Other security, you have cyber terrorist, and I've talked about employees already, hackers. There are people that are out to hurt your system just because they think they should, I guess. Different types of attack are backdoor attack. If you ever saw Jurassic Park, when the first Jurassic Park, when the animals were being made, then all the problems that developed with that were done through backdoor, person that had access to it already. Look at the rest of these. Yeah, sniffing's done quite a bit now. That's just looking at network traffic. That's pretty easy to do. They're off-the-shelf programs. They're programs you can download from the internet to sniff. I'll let you find them. I'm not going to show you. But you can actually go out and find different networks just by using a software program and a wireless computer. Spoofing is common. That's why it used to be when you were trying to protect a network, you could just you could just put in a username, password, or put in a allowing so many people in. It's called an IP shield, and you can just list that number down or that MAC address, and then you had to have that MAC address to get in. Well, I can spoof your MAC address. So if you're given permission to come in, I can spoof the different addresses and stumble on yours and be able to get into the system. So security levels have different ones, beginning with physical to down to user. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. I personally don't like the username password that we have been laden with for years. Maybe I'm getting old and can't remember all the passwords that I have to remember, but I think we ought to use something that either a chip that we keep in our pocket, or a biometric, our eyeball, our fingerprints, DNA. Ought to be something that we can use to get in with this. Portable computers, very high risk when you're traveling. Network security, WPA2 on your wireless networks, WPA2 PSK to be specific. If you're not on that, you need to check. If you're not on that, you need to change your system. The older systems, the older wireless systems use something called WEP, and WEP it takes about 3 seconds to hack. So WPA2 takes a while. It really has only been done effectively in laboratory settings, but it can be done. But it takes a long time. WEP does not take a long time. Denial of a service tax are the worst. They can shut a system down. They can shut an ISP down. Sometimes when you're trying to log on, you can't get on the network and you think the internet's down. Well, for all practical purposes for you, it is down, but it's only down at your ISP. Your ISP may be experiencing a DOS attack. Those are hard to block. They take a while to clean up. They're not any fun. You need a firewall to protect some of that right there. Different security levels. Not everyone in the company needs to have the same security, including the general manager. I'll let you look at this. I've talked about patches already, same as updates. File security, the administrators can create user groups and assign file permissions, and that's what needs to happen. The administrator does not need to give everybody access, including the administrator. Administrators it should take 2 or more administrators in order to approve an administration. And then it could be, it's kind of like having 2 keys to a lockbox. It takes both keys to get in. That person needs cross checks, checks and balances. General managers and CEOs do not, I repeat, do not need full access to everything. If my general manager or CEO requests that, then I'm going to change companies because I don't trust the general manager or administrator. General manager or CEO or something, they don't need full access to everything. They need what they need. Let's see. User resistance. I really like security tokens. I like that because it takes a physical device that changes often. This is very similar. The military developed this, by the way. It's very similar to a CEOI, and that is a change in system each time it gets implemented. So when you go in, when you log in, you have to have a new key. You log in. As soon as you log out, that key is no longer valid. Those are almost unhackable. Backup policies. Back it up. Now, I say this saying that backup does not necessarily mean that you stop what you're doing and back up everything to a tape drive or to a DVD drive or even a cloud drive. This means that everything you do is stored someplace else. It needs to be off-site. I say that because people leave their stuff on site. There's a fire, everything gets burned up, and then not only, to add insult to injury, not only have you lost your business and your building, but you've lost your data also. So that's not good. Cloud-based is the smart way, folks. It's too cheap. You can use Dropbox for free, even up to so many gig, and then if it's more than that, just buy it. I mean, it's like $5 or $6 a month. Oh, it's worth it, worth it, worth it. Store your stuff in a cloud someplace. Make sure you have full this. Different types of backup. You really only need to back up what has changed, but there's different types. You can read about those types. Different types of backups you can read. Business continuity issues, a disaster recovery plan. Every business needs one. During the tornado in Owensboro in the year 2000, early part of January, an F3 tornado came through town. Several businesses were caught with their pants down and did not have a good backup plan, a disaster recovery plan. We had businesses go out of business because of that. They never could recover. So it's good to have a backup, a business continuity plan to keep the business going. Systems obsolescence. Your system, as I told you earlier, your system will go out of date. It's just a matter of when. Things change. You need to change with it. It needs to be known what's changing and how it's going to change. That needs to be planned. Can you plan 10 years like you do a vehicle? Vehicles have a certain time, like line trucks, bucket trucks typically last 10 years before companies get rid of them. They sell them. Larger companies sell those. But they have a 10-year, 15-year plan. Sometimes less, sometimes more. But you need to plan. Can you do the same thing with design, software, and stuff? No, you can't. You just have to kind of play the odds on what's going to happen. Predictive analysis is good. You can predict on what's going to happen. That will be even better. It's tough to do sometimes. So some of the future challenges and opportunities: strategic planning, critical thinking. Get an idea of what this is right here. Now, your activity. Like you to about a half a page on interface issues, about a half a page on a user manual bullets. Again, this stuff's in your book. Please get outside of your book some. Don't copy verbatim what's in there. Get outside, go online, look around, look at other companies. Try to find a user manual, find some areas that are in there, and take this out. So that's all I have for you. Enjoyed talking to you through these 12 chapters. I hope you gained something out of this. Hopefully you will have a great semester, and please supplement this with your book and outside study, and have a great day.